Why, hello gang, it is I, Jackson Galaxy, your cat daddy. Today, you get to hear me go on a little bit of a rant, which is always fun, but I just want to take a few minutes to talk about something that's been in the news for the last week or so. Thankfully, it's a situation that has resolved itself as well as it's going to, but it didn't have to happen, and I think there's a lot that we can do to make sure it doesn't happen again. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about a cat, well, a 9-month-old Bengal tiger named India who escaped from somebody's home, literally just climbed the backyard fence and then wound up in the neighborhood. Clearly, neighbors terrorized, India totally confused and wandering around. Apparently got scooped back up by the owner and then hustled into like a Cherokee and driven around, where after they apprehended the dude, like not long after, he didn't have the cat. So big hunt goes on for India. They're not finding him. Finally, the suspect's wife says enough of this. She had India. She loaded him up, put him in another car, took him to the animal shelter in Houston, where he was then transferred to the Black Beauty Ranch in rural Texas, and that's in an accredited large animal sanctuary that is operated by the Humane Society of the United States. So that's about as good as that could turn out, because there are many other instances. If India were to get spooked and go after somebody, then India would have been shot on sight by the authorities, as opposed to having this peaceable ending. And also, India now has, I think, 1.5 acres to call his own at Black Beauty. He will be fed a right diet. He will be treated like a tiger, and that's about as good as it's going to get. I think it's horrifying to think that although it's illegal to own a tiger within Houston, there are plenty of counties surrounding Houston that is perfectly legal. That if they would have caught India, they would have had to return him to his owner. And there was nothing they could have done about it. As long as the owner would have jumped through some regulatory hoops to have a tiger in the first place, it's all good. But it's not all good. It's not all good that tigers or big cats in any way should be accepted as pets. It's a travesty. The idea that we would take this apex predator and treat them as whatever, some purebred cat, that we spent a lot of money on, is horrifying. But one of the things it points to is how prevalent the big cat trade is. Now, if you haven't seen my video on Tiger King, it's called Tiger King Fail. I'll put the link down in the description. You can go check that out, where I go into more detail. There's twice as many captive tigers than there are tigers in the wild. There's only like 3,900 in the wild, Bengal tigers, and they're actually not just Bengals, 7,000 estimated as pets. Or not just as pets, but ones that are brought up at these roadside attractions, these pet-a-cub type of attractions, which up until now have done exceedingly well. They've made a lot of people a lot of money because people go, okay, well, how cute is this? I want to pet a tiger cub or a lion cub, and I want to be able to feed them a bottle, or I want to play with them. What's wrong with that? There's plenty wrong with that, because these babies grow up. When they grow up, they're of no use to the people who operate these attractions, because who wants to pet a cat that's going to bite your arm off? So they're either farmed out to breed for the rest of their lives, or they're killed. That's it. This is an industry that we have allowed to happen over time. So let's face it, if it weren't for the demand, there would be no supply. Luckily, a lot of these attractions have been shut down one after the other, and if there was, any benefit to Tiger King at all, it was exposing the horrors of the big cat trade. India, the 9-month-old Bengal adolescent, is a product of this trade. But beyond all that, there's also the perception of these tigers. There's also, the more people who get to just sort of play around with these cats. And by the way, I saw a clip of one of the officers and a couple of other people who were celebrating the fact that India had been, brought back.
Well, we got him, and he's healthy.
But they're sitting there petting her, still treating her like an animal that can be pet. Let's not forget, apex predator. If there was something that totally spooked her, she's going to revert to who she is, a scared carnivore who will attack. I mean, there's plenty of stories of people who are lion handlers, tiger handlers in conservation who had taken all precautions and still wind up getting mauled. They're dangerous animals who deserve a place in nature. Not in someone's living room, not wearing a collar, not being a kitten who is being pet. I want to wrap this up by saying this. There's something that we can do about this. It's called the Big Cat Public Safety Act. It was passed by the House of Representatives. It's a federal bill. It was passed last year, 2020, but didn't make it all the way to the Senate. So it got reintroduced. It's got over 100 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives. I think 20 in the Senate. We can get this thing pushed through, especially with what happened with India in Houston. So let's get this going, you guys. We can pass this, and it will make it pretty much illegal to own a big cat as a pet. Period. It will shut down these roadside attractions. Shut them down. In terms of the steps that we can take, the Big Cat Public Safety Act is where it's at. So let's get with it, you guys. Let your legislators know that you care about big cats, that you want to see them protected, that you don't want to see another repeat of something that happened in Houston, which could have turned out a lot worse. They could have been humans that were mauled and a beautiful cat that would have been killed on the spot. So let's do this in honor of India. Let's not allow the big cat captive trade to exist anymore. We have the power to do that. One is by helping to sign this bill into law. The second thing is, not to buy in to cute cubs. Do not give these people your money. Do not go to these roadside attractions. Do not give in to any business, or if they call themselves an organization, which allows you to take pictures with cubs. Because not only is it not fair to them, not only will they grow up not knowing how to be a tiger or grow up at all, but it perpetuates this myth that it's okay. And we, as people who love cats, whether big or small, we need to let them know that it's not okay. Okay, so that's my rant on India the tiger. Thank God she's safe. Thanks to the work of Black Beauty Ranch and Humane Society of the United States for helping to make that possible, for giving him a safe place to go. And let's get on it, man. Let's pass the Big Cat Public Safety Act and show everybody that we care about these guys, all right? Don't forget, new video coming up on Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you there. All light and all love and all mojo to you. Take care, everybody.
Meow.